lovely to see all of you, many of you again. Lovely that all of you who are returning back from yesterday, it's a great continuity. For those of you who were not here yesterday, I will be giving the premise of the work anyways. So getting right into it, I want to give you a little bit of a background for the Breath of Life meditation. Often people ask craniosacral practitioners, you place your hands on the body, you just sit still, your hand doesn't move, you don't move, what do you do? And we say we are listening to that the body is expressing. And what is this pulse? It's called the primary respiration, and it can be palpated and sensed with our hands. And there are many expressions of the primary respiration. And then clients will ask, are you listening to how I breathe? We're not listening to the pulmonary respiration. Pulmonary respiration is your breath, that's the function of the lungs. We're listening to primary respiration. So here's an inquiry for today and something to start you off with. For a moment, you think about it, that when we are born, we take our first breath after we come out of our mother's womb. Yeah, and sometimes the doctor is slapping us, sometimes we are being shaken, sometimes it's very gentle, and the whole birth team will wait till the baby takes its first pulmonary breath, and that's when there's lung ignition. The lungs are ignited to start to function and start breathing. So that's our first pulmonary breath of life. But we are already alive even before that. As a baby that is just born, it is alive. As a fetus that is in the womb is still alive. As an embryo before it was a fetus, it is still alive. And as a single cell organism, it is still alive. When the sperm meets the egg and fertilization happens, that is our beginning as we are today. So we all started out as a fertilized egg and as a single cell organism. And scientists who have been doing a lot of interesting research with high technology cameras, and they are recording the single cell organism. What is its behavioral pattern? What is happening to the single cell organism? They see that at the moment of fertilization, this is the sperm enters the ovum and then fertilization begins. But at that moment of fertilization, there is a stillness. There's a dynamic stillness which lasts anything from 10 to 20 minutes. Nothing happens. And they're like, scientists are just looking at what is happening here. Nothing is happening. But at the same time, what is being recorded is a dynamic force that is present in this tiny single cell organism, which in the future is going to become this whole body, which is going to live a life of 60 to 80 to 90 years. But at that moment, we are all one single cell organism. And in the moment of fertilization, we are in deep dynamic stillness. It's a force. And then after this stillness, it's like something moves into a dynamic force of stillness, and then out of that activity starts. After that, there is the initial cell division and cell multiplication that happens, and then we become multiple cell organisms. But when they started to look at this dynamic stillness, many questions came up. This led to a lot more other research. Like, where is this force coming from? What is the purpose of the stillness before action? And this is what we want to look at today, because they noticed that the cell is breathing. It's not breathing air, but there is a breath. And in that breath, there is a pulse. So anything that has a breath has a pulse. Any breath has an inhalation and an exhalation. You see the breath of the ocean. You see the ocean breathing. The ocean is, filling up in high tide, and then it's receding in low tide. You go deep into the ocean and you are on a boat, and you'll feel the breath of the ocean moving up and moving down. All cellular organisms have a breath. That does not have anything to do with lung breathing or breathing of respiration of air or air exchange. This is a breath of life. That there is something pulsing that creates an expansion, and then it's receding back. Now I'm going to show it to you with my hand just for you to have some reference. Anything that has an expansion, you can also see it like the lotus flower or like a flower blossom. There's an expansion and there's a receding back. Now a cell may look more like this, a subtle expansion and a retraction, and an expansion and a retraction. But this expansion, retraction is oriented to a fulcrum, which is the center point of that organism. Every organism has a center point, there's a fulcrum, and this fulcrum gives it orientation for how it is formed and how it moves within itself and in space around. If we have to look at the fulcrum of our body, we have the spine, this midline spine, yeah? The length of the spine rising up from down to up, we have the spine. While gravity is acting on our body with our weight coming down, grounding us, our spine is rising up to the sky. So we are always in the dynamic of two forces, gravity acting on us, grounding us, and our spine rising up towards the sky, right? In the balance of these two forces, we have the harmony of our existence. Coming back to the breath of life phenomenon. Today's meditation, I want to guide you for you to experience the breath of your, of your whole being. Your whole being is made up of millions and millions of cells. Each cell is breathing vitality, life force. Life force is permeating through us all the time. As we are breathing air, we need to ask what brings us to breathe the air? What is the impulse that makes me breathe? So take a moment and just look inside. Take this inquiry inside you. Close your eyes, look inside, stay present with your breath, and make this inquiry. I am breathing, this breath keeps me alive. But what is the impulse to breathe? What makes me breathe? Or when I was a single cell organism, that cell was breathing life force, life vitality. What intelligence was making this breathe? This is our exploration for today's guided meditation. There isn't an answer like, here's the answer, I'll give it to you in words or sentences. The answer is really experiential. Yeah. And I want to say a quote. I'm going to bring in a few quotes by masters who have given us incredible insights into this work. And the first one that I want to bring is from J. Krishnamurti. He says, we are talking of something entirely different. It's not of self-improvement, but of cessation of the self. So Krishnamurti is not even talking about self-development or self-improvement. He's like, let's get past that. Can we just drop this sense of self altogether? When we drop this sense of self, what is there? It's like we have a drop of water that has its boundaries, it has its identification, it's a drop. And when that drop falls into the ocean, it becomes the ocean. So losing its identification, losing its sense of self, When it drops into the ocean, it becomes the ocean. At any moment, you can pick up a drop from the ocean and say, this is a drop. And Rumi will say, in this drop is contained the entire ocean. And then you drop it into the ocean, and the ocean is filled with that drop. And the drop melts and becomes one with the ocean. This brings me to another very beautiful insight from Buddha. It's from the Tibetan book of Living and Dying, chapter 4. And Buddha says, imagine an empty vase. The space inside is exactly the same as the space outside. Only the fragile walls of the vase separate one from the other. Our Buddha mind is enclosed within the walls of our ordinary mind. But when we become enlightened, it is as if the vase shatters into pieces. The space inside merges instantly into the space outside. They become one. There and then we realize that they were never separate or different. They were always the same space. It is the same as the drop falling into the ocean. The entire ocean is contained in that drop. And that entire drop becomes the full ocean. Now, as we move into this breath of life meditation, a few things. I'm assuming I can't see all of you, but I'm assuming that you are all in a restful position. You know, it's important to be comfortable. So take a few moments to make yourself comfortable. Make sure that you can hear me. You can keep your eyes closed. As long as you can hear me, it's enough. I hope you have informed everyone in your house that it would be great if you're not disturbed for about 45 minutes. And if the lights are dim, that's helpful. Now, I will give you a few minutes, like maybe 2 or 3 minutes, to sense the comfort of your body. You know, it's like we meet people in a social setup and you ask them, how are you? And they say, I'm fine. Immediately, I'm fine. Even though they might be going through chaos inside, it's immediate, I'm fine. So this is a programmed response. So when I ask you, please check into your comfort, I'm not looking back for your programmed response of, I'm okay. I want you to check with your body. You know, is there anything else that I can do? Maybe a little bit more adjustment, maybe one more cushion. What will really help me to just settle? So take a minute or two to bring this comfort for yourself. And I'm holding space as you all get there. Those of you who are already settled, yes, you can lie down. I'm also responding to a message. You can lie down. So those of you who are already settled, just settle in deeper. Your body is filled with fluids, and the nature of fluid is to flow. So flow with however your body wants to adjust and readjust. It's okay. It will not disturb your meditation. Yeah. The comfort of the body will deepen your meditation. And when it needs to be recomforted again, please honor that. The beauty of our body. And this meditation is all about our body in the ocean of consciousness, in the ocean of cosmic consciousness, actually, right? And Kabir says, do not go to the garden of flowers. Oh friend, go not there. In your body is the garden of flowers. Take your seat on the 1,000 petals of the lotus and gaze. on the infinite beauty. So Kabir is imploring us to sit on the petals of the lotus consciousness which is inside us, and gaze on the infinite beauty, which is we need to turn the gaze inward. You can close your eyes, look inward, and sense the weight of your body as it's responding to gravity. The forces of gravity is acting on your body. And it's bringing your weight to drop down on the chair, on the cushion, on the sofa, or on your bed. Wherever you are sitting, open to the forces of gravity. Allow it to do its work. Allow gravity to let your weight just drop. Feel the heaviness of your bones, the spine, the hips, the shoulders. These are all heavy bones. Feel the heaviness of these bones and let them just sink down. Feel the weight of your muscles unwinding, letting go. The joints loosening, letting go. There is no need to hold on to anything in your body. Just allow a let go and rest. In this dropping, letting go, just rest. As you move into deepening of your rest, invite your attention to your breath and allow gravity to do its work also on your breath. As gravity does its work on your breath is sinking in, the breath is dropping deeper into the respiratory diaphragm, into your belly. Let the breath drop. And as the breath gets deeper, heavier, and fuller, it also gets slower. Slowing down as your breath settles. As your breath is slowing down, settling, and your body is sinking in, resting, unwinding, gravity can also act on your mind. Let your thoughts also respond to gravity. Let your thoughts also get still as gravity weighs down on it. The thoughts get slow, inviting the thoughts to get still with your body. Through this guided meditation, there will be many moments where I will just be silent. And if you become aware of my silence, let it be a reminder for you to come back to the stillness of your body. Let it be a reminder for you to come into your witness consciousness. So in the silent moments, you can witness what is happening in your body. In this meditation, we want to be observers. We don't want to change the process. We don't want to influence it. We just want to be observers. That as we enter this process, we observe what happens. As we move into this exploration of this breath of life phenomenon, which is a natural phenomenon, as we move our awareness into it, we just simply observe what happens. We don't influence it, we don't judge it. And as time unfolds, the process keeps changing. Inviting your attention to your breath, feel the movement in your chest cavity as you breathe in, filling up, and as you breathe out, emptying. When you bring your attention to your breath, it's normal for the breathing rhythm to change. And if you do nothing about it, it will find its own regulated pattern. So just lightly let your attention hang over your breath, around the breath. Just watch how your chest cavity fills up and how it empties out. Breathing in, there is an expansion. Breathing out, there is receding. And now just, stretch your attention to the entire body. From the chest cavity, including the rest of your body. What is the experience in the whole body as you breathe in and the chest cavity is expanding? And when you breathe out and the chest cavity is receding. Your breath, continuing breathing process is creating a rhythm. And this rhythm has an expansion, expanding outwards, and then there is a receding inwards. And you might notice this in the whole body, or maybe you notice it only in your chest cavity. It's okay. As you are present with this filling up and emptying out of your breath, bring your attention to the center of your breath. What is that center point from where the expansion is opening out? And what is that center point to which this breathing out is receding? And when you exhale, this emptying and receding is coming back inwards towards the center. And then from the same center, in the in-breath, there is an expansion out. So bring your attention now to the center from which this rhythm of breathing in and breathing out is happening. And take your time with finding the center. Take your time with settling in this center. So as you anchor your attention to the center, the fulcrum in your breath, the center from which this expansion is happening outwards, and the center to which the receding and emptying returns back to. Reaching out in a radial way and then returning back to the center. This rhythmic movement of expanding out, receding back in, can be experienced in the whole body as all the cells of your body are breathing. And now this is no longer about the breath of air in your lungs, but feel the vitality that is infusing through your body, enlivening all your cells, and the response of your cells to this vital life force and the breathing of the cells. And what is this gentle motion that is a response to the breathing of life force? Our body is one single organism. It has many different parts and many different functions, but it is designed to function as one unit. So come to the awareness of the wholeness of your body. That you are not just the shoulder or the spine. You are not just your lungs. You are not just the stomach or the legs. You are all of it in one moment as one unit of function. So as one whole unit of function, how does the breathing express itself? When the whole body breathes as one systemic whole, what is the expression of this wholeness? And for each person, this expression will be unique. So don't let the mind get caught up with, is this how I should be feeling? Or what should I be feeling? Or is this right? Don't let the mind get caught up with this. Let your attention be engaged with what is, not what it should be. You are as you are in this moment in perfection. So move away from the thoughts of the mind, come back to the sensory experience in your body. Hold your attention on the sensory experience in your body. Recognize, how does this body express itself when it breathes in wholeness as one single organism? The breath of life is a force. It's an intelligent force that breathes life into all beings that are living and dying. This force, with this intelligence, with this life-giving, life-forming intelligence, is moving through our bodies as we are at all moments, whether we are aware of it or not. Something breathes us. Something moves us. Something holds us. Something heals us. This intelligence is moving through our system as a force that's gentle, that has a vibration, that has a rhythmic pulse to it. It's compassionate. It's all embracing. It's non-distinguishing. It doesn't matter who you are or how you are. This force, breath of life, is available for you. It's with you and moves through you all the time. It has a rhythm that's different from your lung breathing. So if you are still engaged with sensing your lung breathing, I invite you to now go underneath that. You know, in the beginning, one of the gateways to move into the breath of life is through the center of the rhythm of your breath, through the center of that expansion and retraction. And you may or may not have found the center. And that's okay. There are many gateways. There are many doorways to come into the experience of this breath of life phenomenon. Another is to just go underneath your breath. It's like not be caught up with the breath anymore. Let that go into the background. Let the breath go into the background. Bring to your foreground the oneness of your whole body. And when you experience the oneness of your whole body, what is the expression of that? So wherever you may be now in your exploration and in your awareness, I invite you to go even deeper. It does not matter where you are. Just drop deeper. It's like we have a lake. There is a deep lake. This deep lake is also the symbolism of depth of consciousness. We want to go to the bottom. If you take a stone and throw it in this deep lake, the stone is going to, with the forces of gravity, take the fastest and shortest route to drop straight down to the bottom. It's not going to float. It's not going to gallivant. It's going to go straight down. There is density in the stone and gravity acts on it. And the stone has a direction to go straight down. In the same way, like your attention is like the density of a stone, and use your attention to drop straight down, deep, right to the bottom, underneath all the activities on the surface. Go right down, deepen your attention. As you move deeper, settle in. Pause. Become still. Let your attention be orienting to stillness. This stillness is at the depth of your own consciousness. Allow your attention to drop into stillness. As you are orienting and settling your attention into stillness, notice the experience in your body. What is the sensory experience in your body as you are in this process of stillness? I'm going to read to you a very profound quote by Buddha. It's about dying. And the reason I want to read it to you in this meditation is because meditation is about dying. We let the ego die. We let our identifications die. And that dying is very helpful. It helps for dissolving. It's like when the drop of water is dropped into the ocean, it dies from being a drop, but then it becomes the ocean. And meditation is very much like that. And this is something that Buddha was saying before he was dying. And his disciple, his closest disciple, Ananda, was next to him. And he said to Ananda, "Oh Ananda, do not cry. Do not bring these tears of sadness. This body of ours contains within itself the powers which renew its strength for a time, but also the causes which lend to its destruction. Is there anything put together which shall not dissolve? That which causes life also causes decay and death." Remember this always. And these were the last words of Buddha, after which he lay down, closed his eyes, and died. There was a lot of beauty in that. When we bring this understanding to our meditation right now, maybe, just maybe, some of you are on that edge of dissolving. It does not necessarily mean like dying, clinical death, doctor certifying death. I'm not talking about that death here. It's more a letting go. We meet a boundary and you're right there on the fence, and here in this last minute or so, you can just let go. When you are not holding yourself, then something holds you. Just dropping, letting go, allowing something to hold you, some intelligent force that heals you, that breathes you, that vitalizes you. Let that move through your body. Let that permeate through your system. Infuse you with the forces of life and vitality. And now slowly you can start to come back to your lung respiration. Come back to breathing into your chest cavity. Notice the quality of your breath in this moment. If you had identified a sensory experience of a center of your breath, inhaling, exhaling, the center of this, you can orient to that center again. Feel the weight or the weightlessness of your body right now. Both are okay. The weight or the weightlessness of your body. Open your awareness to the field outside of you. The sounds in your room, maybe the sound of the fan or the air conditioning. You can gently open your eyes and sense the colors around you, slowly making sense of what you see. And holding awareness of yourself in this space around you, that in this entire space, you are the center. You being the center has a deeper center, which is the breath. The center of your breath has a deeper center, which is the stillness. You carry the stillness into the center of your breath, which is the center of your body being the center of the space around you. You are the fulcrum of all life's activities happening around you and through you. And, taking this transition with your comfort, as you feel ready, you can now sit up, come in front of your computer or your phone or your tab. And just take a moment, a few moments to reflect on this experience that we've had in the last 45 minutes. If you had to put this experience, the whole experience, the vastness of this experience, the length of this experience, if you had to put it in one word, We're really now catching the essence of this experience, crystallizing it, put it in one word. What would that word be for you? And as you feel ready, you can just show your hand and Niket can unmute you and you can share that with the group in your time.
Yeah. Hi, Zia. This is, for me, the one word is unique. I have done a lot of meditation with different people.
One moment, just to still stay in the meditative quality, just give the one word.
Unique.
Unique. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay.
So,
Samson.
should I, yeah.
Samson. Amita Bhabi, please unmute and say the one word.
Tranquility.
Tranquility.
Lightness, Samson.
Okay. Devendra.
I think KV said centered, and I also say centered.
Okay. Renuji.
Stillness. I was completely still.
Monalika.
Sublime.
Monalika.
Sublime.
Yeah, okay, great. Kavita.
Air.
Air. Okay.
Breath became air.
Chitraji.
Stillness.
Stillness. Vijayji.
Tranquility.
Okay. Vanya.
I'm feeling blissful.
Blissful. Akashdeep. Adarshdeep, sorry.
Hello.
Yeah.
Bhaiya, it would be divine.
Divine. Beautiful. Okay. Suchitraji.
Restful.
Restful. Nirza. Nirza.
For me, it's divine. I was just in a kind of a daze. Divine.
Okay. Neelam.
Yeah, the one word for me is purity.
Purity. Pramilaji.
I would say it was a lovely discovery.
Discovery. Sarita Bhabi.
It was deep.
Okay. Rituji.
Calm. It's just calm. It's this still calmness.
Sharmaji.
Silence.
Okay. Ganeshji.
Peaceful.
Hema.
Oneness.
Okay. Dipti.
Peaceful.
Peaceful. Wonderful. Okay. That's it, Zia. Shilpa. Shilpa.
Yeah. Whole.
Whole. Okay. Great. So I guess we've gone through all the raised hands here.
Great. Lovely. The expression of breath of life is on one hand universal, on the other hand experienced by each person in their own most unique expression. So really honor what you experienced. That is the deepest honoring that you can give to this meditation and to this experience. Niket, if we have time for questions, if anyone wants to ask questions.
So if anyone has a question, please raise your hand. I've lowered everyone's hand. Yes, Neelam, go ahead.
I wanted to ask one thing. When you were talking about the center point, at first instance I went to my belly button. Then again I went to my third eye. That was the first instance when you were talking about the go to your center, then in the second instance, when you were talking about, be in the center, then I could feel myself breathing from the navel itself. So is it fine? Am I hitting there?
So there is no right, there is no wrong. It is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
We all have many points of center. We have many fulcrums. And at any given time, any of these fulcrums can become the experience for center. So that's okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes, Devendra.
So thank you very much for this wonderful session. And I want to just check with you that if one has the feeling of being centered or being aware, etc., then if one carries that feeling, that awareness all the time, then is there a need to go into a prolonged meditation, or can one just connect to that sensation, that feeling, that thought, without really spending time on it?
So, the breath of life phenomenon and study teaches us that all these states of consciousness is happening all the time. It is a holographic reality. Yeah, there are multiple dimensions that are coexisting at any given point of time. So it is about whether you feel it or not, the breath of life is moving through you. Whether you feel it or not, meditation is in you. It is about your attention. Where do you want to place your attention? You want to place your attention on this meditative quality and from there, approach life, or you want to place your attention on the manipulative activity of the mind because you need to be in that situation. If you're a lawyer, for example, it is up to you to choose. It is your conscious choice. It is your free will where you can choose where you place your attention. But all of it is existing and happening all the time anyways.
Devendra, does that answer your question?
Yes, very much. Thank you very much.
Would anyone else like to ask or say anything?
Can I just ask one more question?
Yeah, of course.
Is this the practice then, or do we go somewhere else, with more practices?
As in go somewhere else? I didn't understand.
I think he's talking about, is there a deeper level or a higher level?
Oh, this is part of our craniosacral training work, which I've brought as a guided meditation out into the open, outside of the craniosacral study space. We can always develop on. As a practitioner, I'm working with the breath of life and primary respiration all the time. So over the years, of course, it has created a huge shift in me. It's let's say it's an evolving process. It's a natural phenomenon. It is not, this principle is not isolated only to the craniosacral work. It is part of many ancient mystical traditions also, and you will find that the Upanishads also talk about it. Sufism talks about it. Zen talks about it. Many ancient pagan worshippers talk about this. The pagan worshippers are all about worshipping the elements. They recognize that life force is expressing itself through the elements, so they worship the elements. The same is the Japanese tradition and rituals. So it is actually a natural understanding coming from a very ancient time, and it's in that way quite basic and primal.
To be frank with you, Zia, we say the same thing in the Monroe process also.
Yes.
It's literally as if, you were saying the same thing. Literally word for word at times.
So, that's when I realized that, there is only one truth, When you're going into the absolute of it, there is only one truth. Then everything else is a story around it, but there is only one truth.
Yeah, so you catch the ear from the back or from the front. You're still catching the same ear.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Anyone else would like to say something or share?
Just wanted to say thank you. It was really beautiful. Thank you, Zia.
Thank you.
Yes, Sargam, you can go ahead.
Yes, Jia, in my case, like, in this meditation, I felt pain in my right ear and the throat, and jerk in my right shoulder. So it was not like another person, like most of the people I felt like divine centered, but in my case I felt the pain, itching and all these kind of
Is this new for you, this sensation? Is this the first time you're feeling this?
jerks and all normally I felt in the meditation. This is a continuous thing, so it's a common thing for me. But the pain also, but this time this meditation is different from the what we have in the Munro uh, uh, one. So here, like, I thought maybe different experience I will be having, but this is almost the same experience I am having it.
Yeah, meditation is meditation.
Yeah, but when I was asked to explain in one word, like how you feel, so in my case it was awareness or a feeling of the pain thing.
I will explain to you about that.
Yes. Could you please?
When we move our attention into the body and our attention is not crowded with external stimulus and it is single pointed into the body, we start looking, we become aware of what is in the body.
Okay.
If there is an imbalance in the body, if there is something that the body is needing attention to, it will show up. So it's not like the meditation has created this pain. The meditation brought you to a sharper witnessing within your body, letting you recognize that something here with the inner ear, with the throat, is probably needing attention. That's why I asked you, is this the first time you felt this pain in your ear or throat? Do you know of any syndrome or symptom relating to your ear or throat from before?
Throat.
Yes, so I also find that, whenever there's pain during meditation, it indicates, there's some release or there's some block over there, which is what I think Sargam feels most of the time.
Yeah, if the system is caught up, when we go into meditation, one of the forms of release is jerk. Yeah, the nervous system will just jerk out. That's one of the forms of, it's a release, and that's okay. It's at the level of the body, and it's happening when the body is relaxing. So that's relaxation and not necessarily meditation. Meditation still happens underneath the relaxation, when the body has relaxed, or rather when we can relax with the pain and tension. Sometimes we may really be having chronic pain and tension syndrome in the body, which is not going away.
Okay, Richa, you have something to say? Richa, please go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, I would like to say that this meditation was very different from the meditations I have been doing with the Awareness Foundation. And the fact that you told you were in your guidances, you took us beyond the breath. So you said it's not just the breath, but it is something, you basically focused our attention on something that was beyond the breath. And that
primal.
Sorry?
Moving into the primal breath.
Yes. So that was a very, very deep experience for me. And it took me back to the ashram of my guru, where I had experienced something similar in his presence. So I just wanted to share that this was the first time that at least in my attention went beyond the breath. Normally it had remained till the breath, or it was something in my imagination, but this was something I cannot describe it. It was something beyond that. It was deeper, much deeper.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
But
And
words beyond and deep, that's enough to explain the experience. The experience is beyond whatever we know in our daily lives. It belongs to the realm of the beyond.
Yeah. And of course, your words were so soothing, and your energy, it just completely made me go into a deep state of calmness. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Ganesh ji?
It was a wonderful experience, this breath of life. And especially because of your gentle voice, it made a hypnotic impact, But at the same time, I was alert and could sense the different movements in the body, in the sense like, sometimes you feel the brain is throbbing, it's pulsating like that. So it was wonderful. But I was just, as a suggestion, I wanted to ask you whether this breath of life could be supplemented with some light music in the background.
We are going to work on that.
Yes.
Actually, I intentionally choose not to put light music because this is an awareness sharpening exercise.
Yeah. Yes.
To sharpen our awareness to the silence.
Yes. Yes.
And we have the sound, the rhythmic sound of our breath, and then we have silence between the breath. And we want to sharpen into that space. And the music is something outside of us. We don't want to be outside of us. We want to be inside of us.
Yes. Yeah. That was nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
We can work on putting Sam or Hemisync under that meditation. Just the frequencies. That may work. Let's see, we'll try. Vanya?
Hi, Zia. The meditation was so beautiful. I still have sensations on both my palms. And I was feeling as if a whirlpool was going on in my heart chakra. I didn't even go to my solar plexus. And when it finished, like for very long, I just didn't want to come out only. I felt I don't want to. I mean, I was feeling so blissful inside, but I didn't want to just come out. So I had a very beautiful experience. It was really beautiful.
Lovely. That sounds like a beautiful emotion.
Thank you.
Great. Anyone else would like to share or say anything?
Only a big thank you.
So that's a big thank you from all of us, Zia. I think everyone had a great time. You can get it from the feedback and how people are sharing.
Lovely.
Very nice.
Thank you.
The comparison between craniosacral and axis bars. Let me work on that one. That should be fun.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.